Man, that sun is beaming right in my eye. All right. Ooh, kind of messy back there. I didn't know. Okay, so right over here, this is all of Emily's stuff. She's getting ready to go to college. You know, Corbin University. It's a Christian college in Oregon. Got some things flying around. Just kind of hanging out. Wait for somebody to come in. Thought I'd do a video. I don't think it's going to last 3 hours and 45 minutes like Misty's did. Wow. I need to go back and watch that to see why it lasted so long. She said they were having church. So, and I don't remember when I had church. 3 hours. Well, wait a minute. Back in the 80s, yeah. We had church like that. Back in the 80s. And that was a lot of fun. Now you got people doing this. Oh, I'm wondering who's winning the football game. Nobody really does that nowadays. You know why? Because they have their phones with them. As pastors preaching, they're checking the stats. I can't judge nobody. I've done it myself. When and there's a football game going on. I'm not a big fan, but I'll look. The Seahawks are losing, or they're winning, whatever. But I can't judge nobody. But that thing is, the church I go to depends on who's preaching. If it's a senior pastor, I ain't looking at no stats. He's got me fully sucked in. If it's one other guy, I usually it's easy to zone off because he just goes off in a different direction. And so it's not that I'm trying to zone off. It's just I think he probably should have kept his day job, and I'm not being mean. And I know that I live by, do your words produce good fruit? However, there's some pastors I have a hard time following, and I'm not the only one. And so I think they probably, if they work in the church, they could do other things other than preaching. This guy works really good with the youth. He does. Excuse me. He does work with the youth. He's not the youth pastor, but he does work really. The youth like him. So, other than that, I can find good in everybody. Well, there's a few out there. Not in this day and age. Anton LaVey, I can't find any good in him. He started the Church of Satan in California, and he led many people to hell along with himself. He died on Halloween. He played in some movies as the devil. He died in 1996, I think it was, October 31st. And I thought he was the one that wrote the Book of Satan, but somebody told me, let's do this. Let's Google it. All right. Let's find out. I got four computer screens, and so I can still see you. And okay, who wrote the Book of Satan? Huh. The original. It's not giving me any kind of a, oh, the Satanic Bible. Okay. Oh, it was Anton LaVey. I was right, Pastor Dave. He thought it was Alice Crowley. 720 or 272 pages. And it was released in 1969. It's about right. No, the Satanic Bible. That's what I should have Googled. But anyways, I don't know if I could find any good in that guy. I'd have to spend time with him, but he died. So when you search to find good in people, it helps your own soul. It really does. Yeah. Because it's so easy to be finding the bad in people, and that happens a lot. I mean, look on Facebook. Even Christians will point out, and I'm preaching myself. I do the same thing. I'd post things that were controversial, and it would cause people to get stirred up. And so but I'm not saying but because I'm making excuses, because there was no excuse. Our words and our actions, you have to always think, is it producing good fruit? Is it something you want to eat? I mean, if this mix of egg and sausage and potato and gravy was terrible, would I want to eat it? No. And it's good. It's a bowl you microwave, and it's just a small portion, and that way I won't want to go back for seconds. Trying to lose weight. We ate Mexican food for we had a Mexican fiesta at work, where everybody brought something, and there's a few Hispanic ladies that work in my office, and they had the grill out. They were grilling the tortillas, and there was no ground beef there, no ground taco beef. And I was like, "What's this? What's a taco without ground beef?" And they're like, "That's a Mexican sin. You can't make a taco with ground beef. Shredded beef or chicken." And I was like, "What?" She goes, "That's not real Mexican food. Taco Bell." She goes, "Justin, Taco Bell is not real Mexican food." Well, I was like, "Okay, hey, I'll try it." And it was absolutely magnificent. I'm not going to say I'm never going to eat. Well, I'll tell you this: I probably won't get a whole lot of chance to eat what she fixed, because we just don't. We in this household, it's fast. And ground beef, a lot easier to make a taco with ground beef for us, and I really like it. But whatever they called their prepared chicken and beef, I don't know. It was absolutely fantastic. Hey, yeah, I love Mexican food. Pointing to Jesus Ministries. That's Brother Terry from Australia. Yeah, I love Mexican food. Um, but the thing is what we had on Thursday was authentic, and they brought their one of the other Hispanic office partners brought some hot sauce that he makes, and it was so good, but it was so hot too, and I like that. I don't I don't know why I didn't put any hot sauce in this. I always put hot sauce. I brought Tapatio, and they were like, you know, nobody really laughed, but they were like, Tapatio? Are you kidding? When we got this, but now most a lot of Hispanics in our area, they do buy the Tapatio because it is fast, but when they really want authentic, they will actually make it themselves, and they make a lot of it, so it lasts for a while. Anyways, that has nothing to do with talking about good things coming out of your mouth. We started out that way, but yeah, I was scrolling Facebook this morning, and more than half of the posts were talking about things that would stir controversy, and it stirs up anger in my heart when I see it, and so I just try to. All I do is, excuse me, is scroll past those things. I mean, they were talking about a child that was executed while he was riding his bike. Not a drive-by shooting accident. The neighbor came over and put a gun to his head, and he was 5. And they were talking about how there would be no outrage over that. And a liberal got on there and says, well, this isn't the same situation. And I am. Are you on right now? Pastor T says, I am. I'm on right now. And, they said it had nothing to do with Black Lives Matter and all this. And that and she had the Biden logo on her, thing. So you could tell she was coming from a liberal side of this. And she said, while this is tragic and all, these guys did really terrible. This cop really did terrible. And all what it was doing is trying to stir up anger. And, Proverbs 15:1, I haven't memorized. I don't have a lot of scriptures memorized because I've tried to. Yeah, you saw that story too, Pastor Terry? All the way in Australia. That's awesome. It did reach across the world then. Proverbs 15:1 says, soft answer turns away wrath, but harsh words stir up anger. And I'm paraphrasing, but that's the gist of it. So, does our words produce good fruit? Even typing, those probably the worst because you can continue to see those things. I don't know if it's worse or not because you can't really get the feeling when somebody's like that, when they're all being when you can see the feeling, that can be worse too. But I was watching this homeless guy the other day too. He was screaming and yelling at the air. He was looking at the front of the shopping cart as he was pushing it, and he said, "Get off my stuff!" And he didn't say stuff; he said a different word. Yeah, it's a demonic anger, just like Pastor TC just said. Those when you see those postings, they're definitely demonic anger. And definitely a outpouring of the end time. But this guy, he was just getting all excited over nothing. There was nobody there, but he was yelling and screaming and running his cart into the curb. And so the cop, he was coming down the street and came around and whipped his lights a little bit, and the homeless guy then left. And I thought, this homeless guy is so sad. He's got a lot of anger inside of him that's built up, and there's a mental condition there, And I think about a few things. We're seeing what he's like today. He was born to somebody. He was a baby. He was a toddler. Where in that time frame did he veer off? We look at little babies, and I love children. When somebody has a 2 or 3 year old or 4 year old, I invite them over to our house so they can see the ducks and the chickens and can let them collect the eggs. It is so much joy for me to see that, because they're at the age, they're just so innocent. They're discovering everything, and that's what this old man was like. When he was 3 or 4, he was discovering things, and then we look at what happened. What happened to this guy? And it's not the only one. There's several out there. And I think about that. I pray about those people, because that really starts to penetrate what's on the inside. And so you have the Spirit of the Lord when you feel for somebody like that. And I've heard of people, they will start lashing out at that point. Well, you don't know what he did to put himself in that situation. It doesn't matter what he did. The point is, he's here. He's there now. Not having compassion. I've said those same words. So I'm not judging anybody. Pretty much anything I've thought about, I've done, and that's why I feel I have a compassion, because I've said those things and thought, wait a minute, is that producing good fruit? It's not. And so I think about and I pray about those guys. There's another homeless guy here. He doesn't have any mental issues, and if I can catch up with him again, I'm gonna see if I can get him cleaned up and get him a job, and see if he's even interested, because a lot of our homeless people here choose to live like that. But his name is James, and I gave him a tent. It was one of those army tents that it folds up about this big around, and it's about this long. And when you open it up, you slide your sleeping bag inside of it, and you can slide inside in it, and it goes like this, like that. So it's not one you can't stand up in it. In fact, you have to crawl into it, But what it's designed to do is keep the weather off of you. And and the Army had created them to put in your backpack, so when you're doing long hikes. Well, then our unit here in Moses Lake, National Guard unit, they got them, and they didn't like them, so they were giving them away to the Salvation Army and giving them, I'm like, they're brand new. The guy pulled them out and says, "No, I don't like these," and they had like 100 of them. I was like, "Where are you giving them?" He goes, "Well, we're going to get rid of them at the food bank and Salvation Army." I said, "Well, can I have a few?" He goes, "Take all you want." So I took 4. I was thinking for my scouts. The scouts didn't like them. They like the big tents that they can sleep in. So I thought, well, I'll keep a couple just in case we have a scout that is brand new and doesn't show up with a tent, and then he'll have one. And when I was taking some stuff to the senior center, James was back there in the dumpster, and I was like, and as soon as I pulled up, he started, kind of scurrying away, and I was like, "Oh, hold up! I'm not gonna hurt you. I've got something for you. I have something free." And then he turned back around, and I said, "I've got something for you. I'd like to give it to you. I'd like to bless you." And I was in my military uniform, and I said, "This is a tent. It's small, and you're on the road a lot. And I didn't say you were homeless. I said, since you're on the road, this is really going to help you out to keep the weather off you. When you open it up, it's really easy to set up, to set it down, and you can slide your sleeping bag. He has a sleeping bag hanging over his backpack he was carrying. And as you slide your sleeping bag inside of it, and you can get in there and it'll get you out of the weather. And so it's free. It's for you. And I said, what is your name? He goes, James. And I was like, well, my name's Justin. Do you live around here? He goes, yeah. I said, well, good. I hope I see you again. And so one of the ministers in our ministry in the Pentecostal Evangelical Church, he is a homeless minister here in the area. And he's bought him coffee and a sandwich, from Burger King. And he'll sit and talk with him. And he said he's real timid and he's ashamed of what has happened. So please pray that I run into James very soon so that now that the position I'm in, I can get him a shower, I can get him clothes, and I can get him a job. And hopefully we could get him get him a place to live. And so he'll qualify for all of that. Oftentimes though, some of these people are just not interested. And so if that's the case, that's the case. Can't do anything. I can't force them into a job. But I don't feel very good about just enabling and giving money to people that don't want to work. Paul says, you don't work, you don't eat. So, all right. So Pastor TC says, yet for the grace of God, there go I. Yep, that's right. And I felt that, I felt really impressed on that. I should give James that. This ain't Pastor James K, though, by the way. He ain't homeless. He's doing well. Okay. And he's in Pennsylvania anyways. But I really felt very strongly about giving this brother or this person I don't throw the God card out there all the time. People say, "Oh, the Lord told me this." The Lord, and the Lord may have, but there are people out there when you ask them to do something, they'll say, "Let me think about that." The Lord just told me I cannot do that. Oh, you big liar! He did not. You just don't want to do it. Stop being a coward and stop blaming the Lord. That's what I want to say, but I don't. I'm like, all right. If the Lord told you not to help out, well, it's not my ministry. Really? All right. It's not your ministry. And it could be, can you help me with this box? Oh, that's not my ministry. I'm getting a little sarcastic, but people pull that God card out way too much. They use God as an excuse not to do things, and they just don't want to do it. Hey, look, just be honest. You don't want to do something. Just say, hey, I'm not really up for that. It's no offense. I just don't want to do it. But getting back around to it, I don't pull the God card out very often, but I will tell you that I did feel the Lord tell me to give him that tent. It worked out very well. So I'm sure it was from the Lord. All good things come from the Lord. So, all right, Pastor TC says the demonic in the graveyard, cutting himself. Oh, I'm not sure what that means, Pastor. Type it out. Help me understand that. I know what the issue is. I ate my breakfast. I don't have my coffee. I'll be right back. You guys want some coffee while I'm up? Okay. Hold on. I'll be fast. I'm gonna get a big cup of coffee so I don't have to get back up. Get a big cup that I won't have to. This is only like a 3-finger cup, but it's gigantic. It should have been a 4-finger cup. Oh, that's hot coffee. Like my cup. My mother-in-law got that for me. That's pretty good when a mother-in-law knows what the truth is, you know. I can just hear some of you, oh my heck, no coffee for you, 11:30 p.m. Wow, you're a night bird there, Pastor Terry. It's 7 here. 7, yep, 7:01. Wow, you're up super late, or yeah, pretty soon you're going to be up early. Right when it comes about 30 minutes, then you're going to be like, I was up real early. Well, anyways, okay, can't spell worth the hoot. The mon of the. Oh, okay, I get it. All right. Well, I think a lot of it was I didn't have my cup of coffee, so you know, it's like the Bible says, without the Spirit, you can't have understanding. And it should have said, without the Spirit and a good cup of coffee in the morning, you don't have the full understanding. mm. 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 All right, so I'm just hanging out today. I was kind of wondering if anybody else would show up, but hey, I got two of my favorite people here, and so what's on y'all's mind? You know, anybody have anything that you want to talk about? Hmm. You know, I was reading though in Romans chapter 14 about the different things. Yeah, he was definitely totally messed up. Yep. I was reading chapter 14 of Romans. Yep. Oh, and Jesus looked him up, took him up. And it talked about how some things just don't matter. Paul was like, look, you know, well, for the most part, Paul was talking about chapter 14, seeking that which was lost. Yeah. That if you do something that offends somebody, or that could make them stumble. Now you you can say hello to somebody and oh, I'm offended by the way you said hello. You know, 2015 was the most offended year. So, so you know, but Paul was talking more about in chapter 14 about people stumbling because of what you've done, and they fall by the wayside, or they leave the faith because of what you've done. But I'm at work driving around in my patrol car and can't type. You're not supposed to be texting and driving, Pastor. No judgment. I've done it myself. Or do you have that speak and type? I bet you have that. So yeah, he was talking about, you know, the things that you do if they cause somebody to stumble, you shouldn't do them, you know, but don't live in bondage, you know. And this is a story. This is what was going on. Okay, the Jews and the Gentiles were coming to Jesus in mass droves, and the Jew was used to not eating unclean meat, or what they would consider unclean meat, like pork, anything with a split hoof. Okay, can you see that? With a split hoof. Okay, it's kind of like a Spock sign, but upside down. Okay. So in that they were considered unclean animal, like a goat, a pig. You know, there's certain animals that are unclean, and so in bed half asleep. All right, I hope you have a great sleep. And so the Gentiles would come in, and they would all feast together. They'd sit plop down with their pork and their pulled pork, you know, and be eating, and the Jews were like, "You're not supposed to eat that; it's unclean." And they're like, well, "We don't live under the law anymore. Everything's clean now." And then the Jews would sit down and pull out of their knapsack meat that was sacrificed to idols, and Gentiles were coming out of. No, I don't. That's why my text. Oh no, because that's why they don't make sense. Well, when I do text and talk, it doesn't come out exactly right. So, but anyways, the Gentiles were pagans, and they had come out of that life, and they had sacrificed animals to idols and false gods. Well, this is what the Jew would pull out their clean meat, or their meat that they could eat, which and they're like, "Hey, that was sacrificed to an idol. You can't eat that." And he goes, "Hello, you just said, we don't live under the old law anymore, and everything's clean." And they would bicker back and forth about this. So Paul had to write a letter to the Romans and say, hey guys, bring it down a little bit. And he had to just let him know it's okay. And well, the issue was, it all came back to this. Paul says, "Look now, if it's offending to where they could fall in the faith, just eat something different, okay? Be liberal in your love, okay? And don't do it in front of them." And there are Christians out there that get in today's society. We don't talk about clean meat and unclean meat. But there's other foods and things that people really get bent out of shape of. Or let's take alcohol. We've talked about that before. Alcohol is one of those big ones that I know pastors that they drink wine with their dinner. They don't do it out and about, because somebody could look at that and say, "Wow, Pastor Bill," I'm just making a name up, "Pastor Bill, I saw him drinking alcohol when he was out of the restaurant. I guess it's okay to drink alcohol. I guess I'll go back out in the bar," And this could have been a guy that was freed from a life of alcoholism, and then he sees a pastor or somebody he really holds some high esteem to, having a glass of wine with his wife at a fancy restaurant, and then he walks into that fancy restaurant bar and he starts drinking again. Well, it was a ism to him, an alcoholism, which means it was very addictive, and now it throws this guy back into that, and then he's back out on the street again. He loses his family again and everything. You see what I'm saying? So I don't know any pastor that does drink out in public because of that. They take Romans chapter 14 very seriously. But I've heard pastors say, "Look, my wife and I do drink wine with our dinner in our home. If that has offended you, let me be very clear." And so they explain that this certain pastor, I'm not going to tell you who it is. Well, you wouldn't know anyways, but his name is Pastor Doug, and that's his real name. And he mentioned this over the pulpit, and then when I went there between 2001 and 2007, and he says, "But I've never had any issues with alcoholism, neither has my wife. If you have, stay away." And he says, "It is an addiction for you. It is not good for you." And it's a proven fact that a little wine can cause some really good enzymes in your body. The problem is, what's the problem? The problem is it's addictive. It can be. And so it's probably not good for people to get involved with that stuff. if it's if it's addictive for you. So that's one big. I think that's probably the biggest thing that Christians will struggle back and forth with. I just stay out of the conversation. Oops. I just stay out of the conversation. I don't get in those conversations because it's one of those things that if you're not involved and I'm not involved with it, what does it matter? Let's talk about something else. Let's talk about something that's going to uplift us, that's going to produce good fruit. And so, what are some other things that you can think of, Pastor Terry and Pastor TC, that Christians argue over, and it really just doesn't matter. It doesn't produce good fruit or bad fruit. There's I can't even think. Oh, this is one I heard. Christians shouldn't have nice cars because it makes them look rich. I had heard a pastor goes, Pastor Doug, he was pretty amazing though. He says, as a pastor of a church this size, or any church, you got to be careful. The rapture, that's a big one. Yeah, that's a big one. Christians want to argue if it's pre, mid, or post tribulation. And I'm a I'm a plan ahead rapture guy. I just keep my eyes watching, and I'm planning ahead. However, and I'm hoping ahead. I know we're not. Pastor TC, hold on. That was the problem. Pastor TC has spoke about not getting it, not only looking for the rapture and just sitting there waiting, and not. I get where he's coming from, because I want to do as much as I can to get as many people to go with us as possible. But on that day, I'm ready to go. And I truly hope I don't have to live through the tribulation. I've heard many different views on it, where it is only for those people that rejected God. Yep, ready and eyes on the Lord. That's it, Pastor Terry. I keep my eyes ready, and I got a funny thing. If you've ever seen that movie Joe Dirt, it's definitely not a Christian movie, but his mom says, "Is that where you want to be when Jesus comes back?" There's some truth to that. I don't want to be in a position or in a thought, a mind of thought, or anything when the Lord comes back. It only that's negative. Yeah, and I definitely want to be involved in whatever God, be busy about the Lord's business. But yeah, the rapture is one of those that people will actually get angered, and then there really stirs up a real controversy, but getting back to the car situation, Pastor Doug said, I can't have a real nice car, because if I do, people think I'm getting rich as a pastor and I'm making too much money. But if I have a real junker of a car, people would look at it like we're not doing very well as a church. And I was like, well, what people think, they're going to think. And that would be one of those things that'd be like, you know what? I care less what you're driving. What irks me, and I'm going to offend somebody, I know. I'm just saying, what irks me is when I drive into a church that I'm visiting, and there is pastor and pastor's wife's parking holes, and it says senior pastor's wife, and below, towing will be enforced. Are you kidding me? Just my pet peeve. Okay. If you're really a humble pastor, you'll park behind the church or in the back parking lot or in the back of the, if you're really, really humble. However, if the Lord told you to, and I've seen it, I'm telling you what, if I could go back to that church in Virginia and take a picture of that, I'd post that as like, is this proper? Maybe not. That wouldn't produce good fruit. People would really see. The thing is, what we post online, we got to wonder, how's it going to be taken? Who's going to use that against us? And yeah, so that's kind of a pet peeve of mine when I see things like that. And I wonder how many people pulled into the parking lot early, saw that, and pulled out and went to a different church. Did those signs, send a message that their pastors are more important than the people? Didn't think about that until just now. Misty, I understand why you went 3 hours and 45 minutes. It's easy to. If Pastor TC, Pastor Terry, if you don't know, if you've never watched All About the Lord Jesus 2018, take a gander at her channel. She's just got this heart that is like this big. It's an enlarged heart, but she's definitely not going to die of it. She'll get an eternal reward for it. She just pours her heart out. And she is really full of love. And but her name is Misty Bishop. And I was wearing my shirt one day. It said Bishop's in the house or something, one of those. She's like, hey, I need that shirt. My last name is Bishop. So Anna and I made, actually more Anna than me. I think all of Anna than me. It's my idea, and Anna printed it out on her Cricut, and then she put it on the heat press, and she did it all actually. And then I packaged shirts up for her, Misty and her husband, and sent them. And so Lord says, well done, good and faithful servant, not pastor. Yeah. Pastor TC, I haven't heard from Pastor TC. He's probably running back to the church to take that sign down. I'm just teasing, Pastor. He's like, well, I better get over there and take that sign down. You know what? I haven't been to Pastor TC's church, so I don't know that it's at his church. Maybe. But well, in Pastor TC's old church, he didn't have a whole lot of parking, so he probably parked where he had to. But yeah, if you have not watched Misty Bishop's channel, you should at least just one video, and you'll see she does her videos in her car because she has to get away from her kids and her husband so she can have some quiet, or she's getting ready to go to work and she'll do a real quick video. But other than that, she's got a real solid foundation in the Lord, and she talks about her kids, and she talked about she had all boys, and then along comes a girl, and she's like, Lord, I've never raised a girl. What do I do here? And this young lady is 13 or 14. Her name's Morgan, and she's turned out to be a beautiful young lady. And so Misty did a great job. But anyways, well, went on about 45 minutes, and Pastor Terry needs to go sleep, and Pastor TC probably need to go rest somebody. So I need to get to spraying my weeds. I got a bunch of them sticky things that crawl along the go heads. That's what they are. And they're of the devil. I'm telling you what, I know the devil can't create anything, but I think he had a hand in these go heads. Every time I step on one, I feel it through my whole body. But I got a hole down here along the windows here. My property goes like this, and then goes out to the field to where the ducks are. And right on that slope, all that ground cover is all go heads. It's kind of nice because it's greening it up, but there's other weeds in there. And we don't really walk over there, but when we have to, we get back on the porch and you hear click, 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 click. It's because of all those go heads, and I have to stop, take my shoes off, and pull them all out. So I just rather than be gone. So, but we got this herbicide that is really safe, and it just kills them all out real fast. And so, but I got to do it. I just got to get it done. But I have my son Chance. He drives the tractor real slow and pulls the. We have a 15-gallon tank, and then I got a 50-foot wand, or 50-foot. I got a wand with a 50-foot hose on it, and we go along and we spray it. It doesn't take long. Just got to get it done. So, and it's going to get real hot today. Tomorrow here it's going to be 105, and so let's check the weather and see what we got going on today. Okay. Weather in Moses Lake. It says it's 55 degrees out right now. Wow, that's great. Today it's going to be 97. And right now it's 55. So it's a perfect time to go out, and there's no wind. There's no wind. It's a perfect time right now. So, Texas. Let's look at Dallas. Weather in Dallas, Texas today. 104, Pastor TC. You better stay inside. It's gonna be beautiful and sunny, just like it is here. But it says 84 right now, and right now is at 10 o'clock your time. That's what it's saying. Or 9:30. 923, 84. You probably know that. It's going to get 104. So let's take a look at weather in Australia. Oh, my wife's coming out, and I'm going to try to block because she don't like to be seen in the morning. Yeah, see, I'm blocked. Because see, that's how I become the trophy husband. Okay. See, honey, I'm drinking out of my cup. Yeah. See, I protect her, my big head. Okay. All right. All right. And I don't know how to pronounce that, Pastor Terry, but I typed it in. Let's see. What's the weather? Today is Saturday. It's going to be Sunday in a few minutes there. So we'll type in Sunday. Okay. Oh, well, it's only going to get to 59 degrees there. You got half the weather there. Is it your winter time over there? It's winter time for you guys there. Where it's summer here and you're on the other side. Is that how that works? I don't know. But you've got the perfect weather. And on Monday, you're going to get rain. 60. It's going to be 61. On Tuesday, you're going to get rain, a lot of it, 55 degrees. And then it's going to taper off a little bit, 56. Oh, it's winter there. It's winter. Hey, honey, it's winter in Australia right now. I'm talking to Pastor Terry. He's in Australia. We're live streaming. And Pastor TC's here too. Okay, so Wednesday you're going to have rain. At 56 is the high. Thursday you're going to have rain. Friday you're going to have rain all week of some sort. And it's the highest it's going to get is 61, which is Monday. And then you're going to have a break in the clouds on Saturday at 56. I'm the weatherman. All right. Anybody else want to know what your weather's going to be like? By the way, we use, Celsius. Oh, okay. Let's do that. Okay. Weather in Australia, Sunday in Celsius. 15. It's going to be a 15. That's cold. Oh, it's Celsius. All right. Yeah, 15 degrees Celsius at the high today. And so it just looks colder when you use that one, Pastor Terry. So, yeah, okay. Well, it's only going to get hotter, and it's 55. Let's see. Yeah, it's about 13 degrees Celsius here, and it's only going to get hotter the more I wait. So, anyways, God bless you guys, both of you guys, and for anybody else that watches this video, have a great day, and we'll talk to you later.